It's insane to me that we have to ask a Supreme Court judge what a woman is and she can't answer it. But it really did happen. And now here we are 3 years later, whatever it is. And we got boys and girls sports. So with this hearing here and her speaking, it's tough to listen to it all because I mean these smart people, they make things very difficult. So dum-dums like me, you gotta dumb it down. Okay. So let's just listen to what they got to say and wonder why it's so hard. All right. And see who's making it so hard. It's that simple. Because it ain't supposed to be this hard.
Judge, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Under Article 3 of the Constitution, federal courts have jurisdiction over only cases and controversies, which means under the Constitution it has to be an actual dispute, that federal courts cannot simply issue advisory opinions on a question they may have a view on. And one component of Article 3 jurisdiction is the requirement of standing, that in order for a plaintiff to have standing to bring a case, that plaintiff, at least generally speaking, must have a real and concrete injury. Is that right?
That is correct.
So, for example, that means that even if I might have a disagreement with some particular policy or some particular law, that I can't bring a case unless I am personally aggrieved by that policy or that law. So, for example, you're in my alma mater, Harvard, is currently being sued for its explicit and, in my view, egregious policy of discriminating against Asian Americans. Even though I think that policy is egregious, I, as an individual plaintiff, could not bring a lawsuit challenging it because I am not Asian American. Is that right?
If you brought a lawsuit, the court would have to evaluate whether you had an actual injury in order to be able to determine whether it had subject matter jurisdiction to hear the suit.
But if I'm not in the class being discriminated against, then I don't have the ability to bring the lawsuit. Is that right?
I think you'd have to have an actual injury. Certainly people, I think, who are in the class could claim that they had an injury for that purpose.
So now you're on the Board of Overseers of Harvard. If you're confirmed, do you intend to recuse from this lawsuit?
That is my plan, Senator.
Okay. We discussed yesterday how the standard for race discrimination was strict scrutiny. The court has laid out a different standard for gender discrimination. What is the constitutional standard that applies to gender discrimination?
Gender discrimination, the court has held intermediate scrutiny applies, which is that the government has to have an important interest and the tailoring doesn't have to be as narrow.
Right. So yesterday, under questioning from Senator Blackburn, you told her that you couldn't define what a woman is, that you were not a biologist, which I think you're the only Supreme Court nominee in history who's been unable to answer the question, what is a woman? Let me ask you, as a judge, how would you determine if a plaintiff had Article 3 standing to challenge a gender-based rule, regulation, policy without being able to determine what a woman was?
So, Senator, I know that I'm a woman. I know that Senator Blackburn is a woman, and the woman who I admire most in the world is in the room today, my mother. It sounded as though...
Well, but...
Okay, look. A man is not a woman. Okay, it needs to be said. A man can never be a woman. A man can be a trans woman. That's fine. 18 after, you want to be a trans man or trans female? That's fine. I'll vote for that. Whatever you want to do. But you're not a woman. You're never going to be a woman. Okay, it's starting to get a little offensive. Okay, you see, because women, at a certain point, their bodies tell them to start to bleed. Okay, that is a lifetime commitment. You understand? And a man can never experience it. And it's not like, you put it on a calendar. Okay, it comes when I want to come. Okay. The chemicals in the brain. These things make, I mean, women, as soon as those chemicals start going, we all know. Okay. We know. We get it. It's part of life. That's Mother Nature. Okay. Men got to deal with it. And birth control adds to it, by the way. That's another subject, but that's another. Okay. Let's think on. It's a contract that you didn't even pick. Mother Nature picked. You got to deal with that from a certain time forever. Okay. Forever. Once a month, a couple times a month, chemicals up and down. That's the biology on those. That's why we ain't built like that. We could not, if you could actually just for a day go through what a woman go through physically, you need to have your head checked because you couldn't possibly sign up for a period and all those chemicals. It's crazy. Now, if you want to be a trans woman, that's fine. I'll give you up. You know what I mean? But it's disrespect. Forget the babies part because that's just so common sense. Okay. And then when you take society and judging women, they get judged different. All right. As a man, you can't handle how they get judged. And then when you become a female and you start getting judged like a female, you can't handle it because we're not built like that. Wow. And apparently, women aren't like men to be like, yo, no more. Okay. You want to be trans? I'll give you a big hug. 18 and over, whatever you want to do. I'm here with you. You want to go? Whatever. Concert, dinner, buying some meal. It doesn't matter. It's life. Cool. Let's go. But we got to remember, woman, female, girl, lady, you understand? That's a special thing. No man can do it. Okay, that's just my opinion. All right. Let's continue on. Crazy. I don't think there's a man in the world that could be like my mom. I don't think assess him. Okay? We ain't built like that. Period. End of discussion. These women, they strong. A man could never possibly be as strong as one in the ring. And physically. Okay? We got to put this to bed. That's it. Let's continue.
But
The question
But
was,
let me ask, under the modern leftist sensibilities, if I decide right now that I'm a woman, then apparently I'm a woman. Does that mean that I would have Article 3 standing to challenge a gender-based restriction?
Senator, to the extent that you are asking me about who has the ability to bring lawsuits based on gender, those kinds of issues are working their way through the courts, and I'm not able to comment on them.
Okay, if I can change my
Why not?
gender, if I can be a woman, and then an hour later, if I decide I'm not a woman anymore, I guess I would lose Article 3 standing. Tell me, does that same principle apply to other protected characteristics? For example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypotheticals and
Well, I'm asking you how you would assess standing if I came in and said I have decided I identify as an Asian man.
I would assess standing the way I assess other legal issues, which is to listen to the arguments made by the parties, consider the relevant precedents, and the constitutional principles involved, and make a determination.
Okay.
Judge, after me, only 5 to go.
You see what I mean? He's a fan. You know what I mean? I want to see both sides not being a fan. I want to see real honesty. Vivek. All right, Trump, give me some Vivek. Because these are simple questions. You know what I mean? A woman, we went through it. Trans is fine. It's fine. I'm fine with pretty much anything, really. Well, a woman is a woman, a man is a man, and trans is trans. Okay, that's where we gotta go. That's the message. No hate. Nope. I love everybody, but we gotta do something about women. You know what I mean? We gotta respect female women. Leave them alone.